Third down and 20.
What is going on? Today we are going to be recording the picks separately from the podcast. This way we can get some more information behind the picks, hopefully increase that record, because me and Steed, we are both sitting exactly one game over 500 for our picks on the entire season. I believe I'm 65, 64, and 3, and Steed is 55, 54, and 2. If you want the exact figures, you can go check out thirdand20.com, the historical page under Third and 20 podcast takes. You can see our pick record there. But with all that being said, first off, this is going to come out on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. But let's get into it. Dog of the week. I'm going to be going first because I'm taking two dogs of the week this week. It's not just singular dog of the week. It's double dog of the week. Last week of the season, we're getting ballsy. 2 money line dogs. Give me the Rams and the Eagles plus money. Let's start off with the Eagles. Eagles have a ton of players on their offense coming into this game hurt, which I do not like. I don't think Dallas Goedert is playing. I don't think Miles Sanders is playing. But let's be completely honest with ourselves. Aside from the tight ends, have any of these Eagles receivers or running backs actually helped them this year? That's the first question you have to ask yourself, is that, like, has Miles Sanders really helped this team win a lot of games this year? I don't know. Second off, let's get to the Washington football team. They still don't have a quarterback that's really healthy. Alex Smith, I think, is going to play, considering they have a playoff spot in the line, but he is not fully healthy. I said it on the Third and 20 podcast that came out earlier today that even if he comes in banged up, I'm not sure we see him as hot as he was compared to a couple of weeks ago. Let's say, for example, when he beat the Steelers. So I really like the Eagles this week. Home dog, give me them plus money. Jalen Hurts playing for his job still. Rams, I also kind of got into this on the podcast. You know, Kyler Murray is playing hurt. He's going to play, but he's going to be playing hurt. The Cardinals are really trending down. And the Rams have just historically owned this Cardinals team. I get him at home. Sean McVay coming off last season, not making the playoffs. He has a win and he's in scenario. I think that the Rams, everyone is doubting them way too much for their struggles the past couple of games. So give me a Rams team that everyone is kind of turned a blind eye to. Everyone's saying we both said they're not contenders on the podcast. So I will take the Rams plus odds. This defense is going to come to play. And the last thing that I love for the Rams is that they finally get to play a defense that is really inconsistent. You know, aside from a team like the Jets where they just struggled in all facets, that Seahawks team, that's a defense that was trending in the right direction. They get to play a defense that's trending in the wrong direction this week, which I think really just cements the fact that I love the Rams as my dog of the week this week.
I like both of those picks. And now that you took two underdogs, two dogs, I feel like I have to take two dogs. So my first dog, I'm taking the 49ers. Okay. I think the 49ers are kind of playing spoiler at this point. You know, they gotten healthy. They're playing better. Came off a really good week last week, like a couple weeks ago. But Kittle's back, so that gives them an extra weapon. Kinlaw's been a beast. And when we look at this Seahawks and 49ers, game, the past couple years, it's been a great game. And I'm going to ride with the 49ers here. You know, I think Shanny can get a game plan around and beat this team at home. My second dog of the week, I'm going to have to ride with them. I'm riding with the home team. I'm doing Falcons. One last time for 2021, we start 2021 1-0. That's what I like. But why I like this Falcons team is, we saw it last week. I bet on the Falcons plus, what was it, 11 or something like that? They played exceptionally well against the Chiefs. Should have won the game if, AJ Terrell catches the pick. They played very well against the Bucs 2 weeks ago, and they were up 17-0 at half. And we know that the Falcons love to blow leads, but I still believe in this Raheem Morris' defense because I think this defense is actually good. He hasn't convinced to me that this defense is actually legit enough that I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them spread and money line because I like the Bucks. Like they're shooing for the 5th seed, right? Like they're fine. They're not like they can't move up. They can't win the division. Like
Yeah,
kind of just
I'm pretty sure they're set.
yeah. So like I see a flat Bucks team coming out. They're very content what they have. I see a Falcons team doing what they do best, winning meaningless games to mess up their draft stock. So I'll take the Falcons. I'll ride with the Falcons.
All right, so you're taking Falcons, 49ers, both money line and spread?
Yeah.
All right, because I put it in there. So I know Steed's I'm riding with you too, because dog of the week is our segment. We just take a dog money line. Steed has been hammering his dog of the week, taking them spread and money line. I'm doing the same this week. I'll take Rams, Eagles, spread money line, 4 picks right there. Last week of the season. This is big for us if we want to stay positive for the regular season.
We're 1 game over, and like a lot of people would be very content on like just trying to being over on the season. But like I feel like you got to go for it. You got to go for it all. Like maybe we miss on that and we go 2-2 and they cover, but that's awesome. If one hits, then you're at least going 3-1.
Okay, so my next pick, I'm going a little ballsy here. I'm going to be taking the Dolphins plus 3.5. I actually don't believe that the Bills are going to be resting their starters, but regardless, I think that this is kind of a trap game for the Bills. They've been playing hot. Everyone's thinking, hey, this is a top team in the NFL right now. This is a Dolphins team that is playing for their lives right now. And I think Brian Flores and that Dolphins squad is going to show up ready to play. And lastly, if we get the Bills at full strength, I actually think that this is a better matchup for the Dolphins than people realize.
Mm-hmm.
If I want a team that's going to beat the Bills, I want a team that can get consistent pressure on Josh Allen and play good man coverage on the back end, which is what the Dolphins defense identity happens to be. I don't know what I'm going to get out of the Dolphins offense, which is why I'm a little scared. But from that defensive perspective, I just think that the Dolphins are going to be able to keep this game close, so I'll take the points.
Yeah, I'm also on the Dolphins too. I don't know if the Bills are going to rest their stars or not because I think they're actually a legit threat in that AFC because they're one of the hottest teams. But like the reason why I'm betting on them is the same reason with you. They're fighting for their lives. They need this playoff spot, and I'm rooting for the Dolphins to get this playoff spot. If I can see 2 in the playoffs in his first year, like that'd be awesome to see. And I really like them in this game. So give me 3.5 with you. We'll ride that game together.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank God you're not. For the record, I finally beat Steed on a head-to-head game that he picked against me. Finally.
Do one. You're going to pick someone, and then I'm just going to take the opposite and see like how 2021 like starts off.
New year, new me. All right.
New year,
finally, I took the Bucks. Steve just said, "Fuck it, I'm taking the Lions." It happened
terrible
in my favor. Well,
worst pick of my life.
To be fair to you, that we took the picks before, like literally the day before, all of the Detroit Lions coaching staff.
Yeah, I didn't know the whole staff would get COVID.
And then
dude, they had the DC. I'm pretty sure they just pulled them out of like the sales ticket office. They were like, "Yo, you want to be the defensive coordinator this week? Go right ahead."
And Matt Stafford getting injured early in the game is really just the straw that broke the camel's back for the 8th time for that Lions team.
Like we said for the Lions, Stafford just can't get a win. Sucks.
Yeah, rip Stafford, feel bad for him.
Feel bad for him.
So my next pick, I'm going to be taking the Giants plus 1.5. I'm going heavy on these NFC East teams. The Cowboys are hot. I'll give them credit. I just think that I get the Giants at home when people are finally doubting them again. I still believe that the Giants, like I said on the podcast earlier today, I think the Giants are still the scariest team in the NFC East. Yes, the Washington football team has a better defense than them. Yeah, the Cowboys on offense have more weapons than them. But the Giants, I get a coaching staff that I really like and I think has done a fantastic job. I get a team that everyone is doubting at home against the Cowboys, whose defense is garbage. I think this is exactly what the Giants needed in their Week 17 matchup to try and fight for the playoffs. And I do think that this Giants football team is going to make their way in because, I hammered the Eagles this week. I think the Eagles are going to be able to win. So whoever wins this Giants-Cowboys game, I believe is going to get in the playoffs. And I think that team is the Giants. So I'll take a 1.5. I like the money line a little bit earlier in the week when they were around +3, but they went down. I really like this Giants scenario, and I think that they just match up well against this Cowboys football team.
Yeah, this is going to be the pick that we coincide against because I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to take the boys.
Okay.
And reason why I'm taking the boys is, like the Giants, like they could win this game. Like their defense is really good, but like their offense is still so suspect to me that I think the Cowboys team has like made a turn where like if you look at the hottest teams in the NFC East, you would have to say it's the Cowboys. Their back's against the wall. They know what they have to do. They just got to win the game, and that's why I'm going to take the Cowboys. Because I think at the end of the day, Andy Dalton gets it done, and especially if Mike McCarthy, if he's axing some watermelons too, they don't lose. They don't lose.
For those who don't know, Mike, we on a previous podcast episode, we went over how there was a headline that came out that I think it was before the Vikings game, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Mike McCarthy in the pregame meetings, like the day before the game, took out a sledgehammer and just started sledgehammering watermelons to fire the team up.
He did it last week too, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he did it last week? Dude,
and they won.
Crap, no, I did not realize that he's pulling this out. I
saw a post where he did it last week too. I think that is the key for the Cowboys, and that's why you got to keep Mike McCarthy, is because if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm just telling him, hey man, I'll buy you I have so much money, I'll buy you a shit ton of watermelon. Just keep on hammering the watermelon before games, and we'll go undefeated with the Super Bowl. It'd be like the 90s again.
Yeah, I'll give Mike McCarthy credit. He's figured it out. The way to get to this Cowboys team was watermelons all along.
It wasn't game plan. It wasn't game plan or coaching or any discipline with this team. It was just like, hey guys, y'all want to see me hammer a watermelon? That's it. That's Cowboy success right there.
So my next pick, man, I really don't like this one, but I think I just have to take it. It's the Broncos +3 against the Raiders. And to be completely honest, I know that the Broncos are one of the hottest teams against the spread this season. Contrary to popular belief, if you're a guy that bet the Broncos every week, you were probably up a ton of units this year.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why, for me, I'm taking this isn't necessarily because of the Broncos are hot. It's because the Raiders are really cold.
Yeah,
the Raiders, for the second season in a row, in the back half of the season, have just completely fallen apart. This is still a defense that they can't figure anything out, even though they switched to a new defensive coordinator. What's his name? That former Cowboys guy. Regardless. So I'll take the Broncos as a home dog. Give me 3 points against a Raiders team that's struggling. To be completely honest, I don't know why the Raiders are favored by 3 here. I don't really understand that too much. Like, I would have put this game like a point less minimum. I would have thought this spread coming in was going to be even around, but I'll take 3 points. So that's why I'm taking the Broncos.
I think maybe why they're favored is you look at the records and the Raiders obviously have the better record, but it could be a lot different too if the Raiders win that game last week against the Dolphins, which they should have won the game. Fitzpatrick made an amazing throw on the sideline, Great throw.
Mm-hmm.
And
But I mean,
maybe
that's
that has to
just
do with a
another
little
example
something.
of how the Raiders like I thought don't give
I
give
don't know. I
Fitzmagic
think that's
credit.
just like I think that was just like a freak play.
Yeah, but they're
I mean,
running
like the
that cover too.
defense.
Why are you not sinking there? Why, as a corner,
I mean,
why are
that's
you
true.
not sinking on that route? You have a safety
That's
over the
true.
top. I don't know.
But
Like,
it's not like their
I
defense
just
played
think that
bad the
that's
whole
the
game.
inexperience of
They
their
took out
defense
Tua.
showing up.
I mean, the defense got Tua benched. I mean,
Yeah, Tua
I'm
got
not
benched
vouching for
against
that defense.
the
I'm
Tua
not
got
vouching for
benched
that.
against the Broncos too. Like
True. Good point. Good point. You got me
here,
there.
last point, real quick, is that I think that Brian Flores is doing what I've wanted coaches to do since the dawn of time. And we have a bet on it, actually. He's trying to implement the two quarterback system.
No,
The two quarterback system.
No, he's
One
not.
guy's hot, then you play him. One guy's not hot, you play the other guy. This is you get a guy like Tua, who's someone who doesn't turn the football over a whole lot. He's keeping them kind of in football games. You get a hot Tua, I'll keep him in. Cold Tua, come end of the third quarter, start of the fourth. Then we throw the gunslinger in there. Fitzmagic. We need some points. We're behind. Give me Fitzmagic, baby. Like, this is the perfect winning formula for this football team. I love it. We're getting close to the two quarterback system. That's all I'm saying. Go on with your next pick.
The only reason why they're doing the two quarterback system, or like they're doing it to this point, is just because well, first of all, if it was a two quarterback system, it would be relevant every game. They don't do it. And the only games they do it in is because Tua is struggling and Brian Flores doesn't want to hurt Tua's feelings,
All right, next pick, though. Next pick.
All right, okay. You don't want to hear the truth?
I don't want to hear your bull crap. Two quarterback system is coming, and you're going to owe me a beer.
Nah, you don't owe me a Corona. Next pick, though, is my Super Bowl team that I'm rocking with. Put in a future bet today, $50 to win what was it, 500 or something like that? I'm taking the Ravens. Taking the Ravens minus 13 against the Bengals. And why do I like this pick? Listen, I understand the Bengals are playing good football. They are. For some reason, the defense seems like they stepped it up a notch after Burrow got hurt for some reason. But, they came off a couple big wins with the Steelers, and they're in these games. I like the Ravens here because I think truly, besides the Bills, they're the hottest team in the NFL. And if I'm just telling you the way I see it, as a Falcons fan from 2016, I see a lot of that 2016 team in this Ravens team. And the Ravens have better defense. I just see it. So I'm going to ride with Ravens minus 13 here. Lamar's going to get done. He's back on MVP status. He's back on his MVP grind, and I like him to get it done here. I think it's a blowout, another 40-point game for him, and maybe the Bengals score, 20, maybe.
No, I agree with you. I like the Ravens. The only thing I'd be scared of is that Week 17 against the Bengals, historically speaking, has been very unfavorable towards the Ravens. I'm pretty sure they've lost their previous 5 matchups Week 17 against the Bengals. And this was the infamous game when Andy Dalton knocked the Ravens out of the playoffs and sent the Bills in.
Well, we're talking about Andy Dalton and Ryan Finley over here.
I'm just saying. I like. No,
I like the stat. I like the stat, but I think this Ravens team just hits different right now. Now I have to credit them as my team, since I put that bet on them. The Falcons are going to choke, so I have to bet on some team, and which I hate it for you.
My next pick is going to be. Oh, geez, what's going on here? My next pick is going to be the Titans minus 7.5. I like the Titans as a team that they got smacked last week by the Packers, but this is a Titans team that has proven that they'll get smacked around one week, but then come back the next week and then play lights out. I think that's exactly what's going to happen here this week. I'm pretty sure they could have clinched a playoff spot with a win last week, correct? With the Browns losing, they would have, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they would have.
Oh, wait, I don't know. It would have been around there. It would have spot regardless. I'm not sure.
Would have put them 11 games. They would have won 11 games.
Maybe with the Colts losing, they would have. But regardless of whether or not they would have clinched, I think that this is a Titans football team that is going to kick it into playoff mode now. cover this spread, kick the crap out of a Texans team that J.J. Watt was just complaining about some of the players on the team not wanting to play. So just the fact that you have to address that in a post-game interview, I'm going to bet against you. Like, I just have to. This is a team that got the crap kicked out of them by the Bears a couple weeks ago. Titans are just as good, if not better, than the Bears. So give me them 7.5, and let's hope they cover, boys.
Well, speaking of the Bears, I'm taking Bears. Plus 4.5. I thought about doing underdog. Listen, I talked about Trubisky and my my take on the last podcast, last episode. And I think I'm going to ride with them. I'm going to live and ride and die with the Bears here. Because I truly believe, Trubisky, Nagy, they're both playing for their job right now. And, the Packers I'm going to bet against them. I don't like them. I tell you right there, I don't like the Packers.
Oh, who saw that coming?
I mean, dude, why do you like the Packers? I don't like the Packers. I just think they've
won 5 games in a row, and they're going to be the 1 seed. It looks like. I'm not a Packers fan. They win games. All right,
I like LaFleur.
My last pick, I'm going to do it for the first time in the entire season. I'm going to be buying half of a point. I've thought about it previously, but I ended up not doing it. I am buying half a point to take the Chargers -3 against the Chiefs. To be completely honest, this is a dumb pick. I don't know why I'm doing it. It's just seeing all these Chiefs players out. And the fact of the matter is that the Chargers, guys like Anthony Lynn, he's coaching for his job right now.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot of players on this team are playing for their job right now because this is a Chargers. If I'm a Chargers owner, right? If I'm the owner of the Chargers or I'm the GM, I am pissed off at this season because this is a season the Chargers, once again, they chargered it out. They lost a ton of close games. It's another year where everyone's saying, oh, they have the talent. They just haven't been able to put it together. And quite frankly, I would be tired of it. So this is a week where, hey, jobs are on the line more so than a lot of other teams because guess what? Now's the time. I'm done with the whole, oh, we're talented on paper but not winning football games. We're up against a Chiefs team that is resting all of their good players. Tyreek Hill isn't playing. Patrick Mahomes isn't playing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not playing. Le'Veon Bell is questionable. This is a game that you should win. 100% you should win. So, Anthony Lynn, are you going to get the job done or not? If he doesn't win the game, he's fired.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I'm not going to take the pick, but, yeah, you're definitely right. The jobs are on the line. He needs to win this game. Last pick for me, I'm going to take your boys. I'm going to take Steelers +9. Now, I think the Browns win this game, but I think it's going to be a chippy game, a lot of pressure on the Browns. You win this game, you're in the playoffs, right? Pretty much. And I think that might be a little tough turmoil for the Browns. And I know the Steelers are resting people, and, the Steelers play, the Browns pretty well, right?
Yeah,
it's always
speaking, we have.
Yeah, it's a cringy game, but they play them well. So I'm going to take the Steelers +9. I've taken the Steelers the majority of the season, and they failed me 2 or 3 times, their losses. So I'm going to ride with them. Last week of the season, I'll ride with Steelers. The only thing I hate about it is that I'm betting on Mason Rudolph, and you know me, I don't like Mason Rudolph.
It's the Mason Rudolph revenge game, though. It is the revenge game.
I'd rather have Doc. Give me Doc. Dude, he's the better QB. Give me Josh Dobbs.
I love this game. The fact of the matter is, coming into the week, if you were to tell me, oh, it's a Steelers game where they're resting a bunch of their starters, Big Ben, TJ Watt, and Cam Hayward, to be specific. Who knows, more might be coming, whether there might be a couple guys that don't play the entire game. Mm-hmm. But regardless, we get the Mason Rudolph revenge game from when Myles Garrett whacked him with his helmet. That was absurd. And I am so happy that this is happening. I am not a huge Mason Rudolph fan, mainly because I wasn't a huge fan of him coming out. And he was one of those guys similar to Drew Lock in that he's just wildly inconsistent. So he's, to me, a more wildly inconsistent, less talented Drew Lock, where it's how the hell am I supposed to root for this guy to be the future quarterback of this team? I don't think he is. But
You know
I love
what
the
might
matchup.
be what might be a good bet in that game is to take a prop bet the over in James Washington and catches. Because Mason
Yes.
Rudolph and James Washington are boys. They have that chemistry for Oklahoma
Mhm.
State. Maybe. And James Washington's a good receiver. He's gonna pop off. And I don't think Mason Rudolph's gonna throw to Deontay if he's dropping every pass. No, like no hate on you. But I like I'm really intrigued by this game because, you're right. The Miles Garrett versus Mason Rudolph little revenge. I kind of hope Mason Rudolph just first play of the game, just throws one at his head,
They
something like
just come
that.
out. They just get in an all-out brawl. That
Oh, like
Mississippi State Tulsa
yeah,
kind of brawl.
that was
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, that was
But
absurd.
if Mason Rudolph does something to entice Miles Garrett and gets a fight, and Miles Garrett does something and gets him suspended, that's a win because Mason Rudolph isn't going to play in the playoffs, but Miles Garrett would. And I
Oh,
think if
now that you
I'm
said that, now he's gonna end up playing. Dude, come on. Like,
who Miles Garrett,
knocked on wood, by the way. You just jinxed it. You're just, oh, well, Mason Rudolph isn't going to play in the playoffs. Now we're going to see Ben's going to get hurt or some bullshit, and now Mason Rudolph is going to have to step into the playoffs. All right, I'm sorry. I'm done with the episode now. I can't take any more of this. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment for the boys. We're still going to be doing picks during the playoffs, but this is
oh yeah,
last regular season week for our picks. Let's hope to end up on top, over 500 still. We went a little ballsy this week. We took a handful of games, the both of us, a handful of dogs as well. If
Stock
our
week.
dog of the weeks get blown out, then we're kind of fucked, but we'll still have the playoffs. So thank you so much for listening and peace out.